Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the concluding part. This is part five, the concluding part of our training on strategic negotiation and leadership course. A very important course. We have been handling this course from part one, part two, part three, and we are in the final part. Part four, we have done part four, and this is the final part, which is part five. This is the concluding part of this particular course. It is a very rich course. It contains virtually all aspects of strategic negotiation and leadership. Now, in the concluding part of part four, we actually looked at module 8 in detail, looking at advanced negotiation techniques under module 8. That was where we discussed or we talked about negotiation power dynamics, which involves, we talked about the types of power, which has to do with exact power, referent power, legitimate power, reward power, and the coercive power. These are different types of power. We know that power dynamics has to be, it comes in play during negotiation. And of course, there must be a way of balancing power during negotiation. When you have power imbalances or power asymmetries, it is very key. So we discuss some strategies for managing power. I will advise you watch module 4 so that you can understand some of what we are talking about here before you watch this module 5, which is the concluding module of this course. Now, balancing power, we talked about that. We moved to the aspect of even leveraging technology in negotiations, where we looked at the use of communication tools like video conferencing, instant messaging, and even virtual whiteboards for negotiation, because we know that technology can enhance communication, information, and the decision-making processes in negotiation. And still under leveraging those tools, we talked about data analytics, which can be used, simulation tools, online platforms, and we discussed that as I mean, various negotiation, various, technologies that can be leveraged upon in negotiation. We also looked at managing multi-party negotiations, where we discussed coalition building as a strategy for managing multi-party negotiations. We talked about facilitation skills, conflict resolution skills, and even decision-making processes as tools for managing multi-party negotiation. We also, still in that module 8, we looked at the aspect that involves negotiation in high stakes and crisis situations. That means negotiating under pressure, which requires resilience, adaptability, and even strategic thinking. So we looked at the tools and some of the techniques to negotiate in high stakes and crisis situations. We talked about crisis management skills that has to you must have the capacity for crisis management. You must also know how to make rapid decisions, and you must have contingency plans. Of course, we talked about the fact that you must know how to build trust, to be able to negotiate in high stakes and crisis management. Then, of course, we proceeded to module 9. Module 9, was discussed actually in part 4. The concluding part of part 4 talked about module 9, but we will just use a few minutes to discuss the module 9. Some aspects of module 9 here to conclude it before we move to the last module, module 10. Like I told you, this very training contains 10 modules. And of course, each of the modules covers very, very important aspects of the entire strategic negotiation and leadership course itself. Now, module 9 was looking at is looking at leadership development for negotiators. We now said that it focuses on personal leadership development for negotiators, emphasizing continuous growth, coaching, mentoring, and even building professional relationships to enhance negotiation skills and effectiveness. Very, very important. We know that negotiators should have personal leadership development plans. If you want to be an efficient, effective, and professional negotiator, you should have personal leadership development plans, because personal leadership development involves setting goals, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and even implementing strategies for continuous improvement in negotiation skills. The strategies for this personal leadership development goals include: one, self-awareness. Self-awareness involves identifying strengths. Identifying strengths have to do with reflecting on your strengths as a negotiator, such as communication skills, analytical ability, or even emotional intelligence, and also recognizing areas for improvement, which involves identifying areas where you can enhance your negotiation skills, such as conflict management, strategic planning, or even cultural awareness. So all this comes under the category of self-assessment. The next aspect is goal setting. We talked about SMART goals, SMART, an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals for enhancing negotiation effectiveness. So as a negotiator, it should be part of your personal leadership development plan to know how to set goals. And you must also know how to develop long-term vision. So which involves establishing a long-term vision for personal growth and leadership development in negotiation rules. Then what about action plan, which is the third category? Action plan has to do with development activities. That is outlining specific activities and milestones to achieve your goals, such as attending negotiation workshops, seeking mentorship, or even practicing negotiation simulations. Then you look at accountability. You hold yourself accountable to your action plan and regularly review progress towards your goals. The next aspect is coaching and mentoring for negotiation skills. Coaching and mentoring are valuable tools for developing negotiation skills because it provides guidance, feedback, and even support for continuous improvement. So the aspect of coaching is very important. Under coaching itself, the role of a coach actually provides personalized guidance and feedback to enhance negotiation techniques and strategies. It is also an aspect that under coaching is also an aspect of skill development because it focuses on specific skills such as active listening, persuasion, or conflict resolution through coaching sessions. Then mentoring is also another aspect. The role of a mentor, a mentor can share knowledge, share experience, and even insights to help mentees, navigate challenges and development as negotiators. And of course, mentors can even provide career guidance. They can offer advice on career advancement, on networking and even professional development opportunities that is related to negotiation. These are all part of what we call personal leadership development plans. They are all there. Then what about the category of peer learning? Peer learning, peer feedback. When you exchange feedback and insights with peers, to learn from each other's experience and perspectives. Then you have peer support network, which has to do with building a supportive network of peers for ongoing learning and collaboration in negotiation practices. These are also very important. Then, in the aspect of continuous learning and improvement, which is another category, continuous learning and improvement. Continuous learning and improvement has to do with one, professional development. Under professional development, you have what we call training programs. So negotiators must attend workshops, seminars, and conferences focused on negotiation skills and leadership development. And they must pursue certifications or credentials that validate expertise in negotiation and leadership. Then, of course, the aspect of the second category under continuous learning and improvement is learning from experience. Learning from experience has to do with reflective practice, which means evaluating past negotiations to identify lessons learned, successes, and even areas for improvement. And of course, feedback mechanism. You must seek feedback mechanisms like reflective, seeking feedback from colleagues or even mentors, or stakeholders, to gain insight into your negotiation effectiveness. Then you look at industry research and trends. Staying informed, stay updated on industry trends, market dynamics, and even global developments impacting negotiation practices. And of course, the issue of adaptability. You must adapt your strategies and approaches based on evolving challenges and opportunities in negotiation environments. Now, we will still look at networking and building professional relationships. Networking and building professional relationships. We know that networking and building relationships are essential for expanding opportunities, gaining insights, and even enhancing credibility as a negotiator. It's very important. Looking at the first aspect, which has to do with networking strategies. Networking strategies has to do with attending network events, participating in industry conferences, seminars, and even professional associations related to negotiation and leadership, and even online networking, utilizing online platforms and social media to connect with peers mentors, and even industry professionals. The second aspect is relationship building. Building trust by cultivating trust and rapport with stakeholders through effective communication, through integrity and even reliability. Still under relationship building, you can look at what we call collaborative partnerships. You establish collaborative partnership with other negotiators, organizations, or even stakeholders to achieve mutual goals. Then the third aspect is thought leadership. You publish insights, share insights, articles, or even thought leadership pieces on negotiation strategies or even industry trends. Then thought leadership, you can even go into some kind of speaking engagements. You present at conferences or even events to demonstrate expertise, and to even contribute to thought leadership in negotiation practices. So in conclusion, module 9 focuses on leadership development for negotiators, emphasizing personal growth, coaching, mentoring, continuous learning, and networking. So by investing in personal leadership development, negotiators can enhance their negotiation skills, you know, expand their professional network, and cultivate a reputation for effective and ethical leaders in negotiation roles. So this module actually encourages ongoing self-assessment, goal setting, and professional development to achieve long-term success in negotiation and leadership. Like, of course, it is also advisable as a negotiator to become a member of a professional body, you know, in the area of peace and conflict resolution. Like, for example, if you are a member of the Institute for Crisis Resolution, Peace Building and Conciliation, ICRPC, that is the professional body that is responsible for this training that you are taking. Then you can also be sure that you are on the right path to developing your skills and capacity in the area of negotiation, because ICRPC trains and certify individuals in the area of conflict resolution, negotiation, mediation, peace building, and even conciliation. So, as someone who wants to be a leader a leader in negotiation, you definitely have to be a member of a professional body like the Institute for Crisis Resolution, Peace Building and Conciliation. And finally, we look at Module 10. Module 10 will be looking at case studies and real world applications. So case studies and real world applications, where we will delve into case studies and real world applications of strategic negotiation, showcasing successful negotiation strategies, leadership insights, and practical applications across various industries. So now we will look at successful negotiation case studies. Successful negotiation case studies. Because examining successful negotiation case studies provides valuable insights into effective strategies, tactics, and even outcomes achieved in real world scenarios. Now let's look at case study number 1. That is the case study number 1 is about pharmaceutical pricing negotiation. The context is a situation whereby there is a negotiation between a pharmaceutical company and healthcare providers over pricing for a new drug. The strategies here is that utilization of value-based pricing models, data-driven arguments on cost effectiveness, and collaborative discussions on patient access. So the outcome is that an agreement was reached on pricing structure that balanced affordability with profitability, ensuring broad access to the drug. That is case study number. Now, what about case study number 2? That has to do with international trade agreement. International trade agreement as case study number 2, a situation where there is negotiation between two countries over terms of a trade agreement involving tariffs and quotas. So of course we know that bilateral negotiations on economic impacts, concessions on sensitive industries, and leveraging geopolitical considerations will be the major order of the day. So of course, mutual agreements reached on tariff reductions and market access can be done, and of course, it will foster economic growth and bilateral relations. Now, let us quickly look at leadership in negotiation. Let us look at lessons from leaders. Lessons from leaders, because we will need to explore leadership insights from successful negotiators, because it will offer valuable lessons on effective leadership qualities and even decision making, and it can even influence outcomes. Now, let's look at number one, which has to do with leadership style analysis. An example: analysis of leadership styles such as transformational, transactional, and servant leadership in the negotiation context. Evaluation of how leadership styles influence team dynamics, negotiation strategies, and even overall success. So now decision making under pressure is another aspect we will look at. You can look at case studies of leaders making critical decisions in high stake negotiations or crisis situations. You know, the strategies here is to that techniques for maintaining composure, assessing risk, and making informed decisions under pressure can also be understudied. Now, looking at another aspect that has to do with application of strategic negotiation in various industries, because examining strategic negotiation applications across diverse industries provides insight into industry-specific challenges, opportunities, and negotiation strategies. For example, industry examples like the technology sector, negotiation strategies in licensing agreements, intellectual property disputes, and even strategic partnerships. In the healthcare sector, there are negotiation tactics in pharmaceutical pricing, patient access agreements, and even healthcare policy advocacy. In the finance sector, there are strategies in mergers and acquisitions, financial agreements, and even regulatory compliance negotiations. Now, look at another aspect again that has to do with what? Cross-industry best practices. We are talking about cross-industry best practices that emphasizes on transferable skills. That has to do with identification of negotiation skills and strategies that are applicable across different industries. And the adaptation here has to do with the techniques for adapting negotiation practices to suit industry-specific dynamics, regulations, and even stakeholder expectations. All these aspects that need to, of course, this particular course, strategic negotiation and leadership course. I mean, it has you can develop. It has a capstone project. This capstone project is something you can do for yourself in order to improve yourself. And it is about developing a strategic negotiation plan. The capstone project here challenges you as a participant to apply your knowledge and skills, the knowledge and skills you have acquired from this strategic negotiation course, in developing a strategic negotiation and comprehensive negotiation plan. The project scope is that the objectives has to do with you defining objectives, scope, and deliverables for the negotiation plan, outline the methodology, including research, analysis, and stakeholder engagement. Then, of course, you have to look at the strategic elements which involve the negotiation strategy, the risk management strategy, presentation, and what? Evaluation. So, in conclusion, and future application of the skills learned here, you see, this module 10 actually concludes with a review of key concepts, strategies, and insights gained throughout the course. So, participants, that is, you must reflect on your learning journey and discuss future applications of strategic negotiation skills in your professional endeavors. So, of course, this module emphasizes continuous learning, adaptation to industry trends, and ethical leadership in negotiation, rules. The course, I mean, this course itself, strategic negotiation and leadership, has been a transformative journey, through the fundamental principles, advanced techniques, and ethical considerations essential for effective negotiation and leadership. As we conclude this course, let's reflect on the key concepts, skills, and outcomes achieved. Review of key concepts. The review of key concepts, throughout these modules, we explored an introduction to strategic negotiation and leadership, where we discussed understanding the importance of leadership in negotiation, the key skills required, and setting clear objectives. We also looked at the fundamentals of negotiation and treated the types of negotiation, the negotiation process itself, distinguishing interest versus positions, and also common tactics. We looked at negotiation strategies in Module 3 and planning, where we developed effective negotiation strategies, setting goals, understanding partner, and role-playing scenarios. In Module 4, we looked at leadership principles in negotiation, where we discussed and treated different leadership styles from, even looking at emotional intelligence, trust building, and even leading diverse teams. We moved to module 5, where we looked at effective communication in negotiation. We looked at verbal and non-verbal communication skills, active listening, persuasion techniques, and even managing conflict. We talked about cultural considerations in negotiation, where we expatiated on understanding cross-cultural differences, adapting negotiation styles, and even strategies for global negotiations. We looked at ethical considerations in negotiation and leadership, where we talked about upholding ethical principles, ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability, and even navigating the ethical dilemmas. We also looked at advanced negotiation techniques in Module 8, where we discussed managing power dynamics, leveraging technology, handling multi-party negotiations, and even negotiating in high stakes and crisis situations. Module 9, we looked at leadership development for negotiators, personal leadership development plans, coaching, mentoring, continuous learning, and even networking. We also looked at some case studies and real world applications, where we analyzed successful negotiation case studies, leadership insights, industry specific applications, and developing a strategic negotiation plan. Now, these are, some of, what we have uh, treated very extensively as far as this course is concerned. And this has actually taken us to the end of this particular training, the end of this particular training. And in fact, I want to thank you for staying with us throughout this particular course. We want to implore you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insights, for more trainings, for more courses, and that will need. That will be very impactful and help you in your professional journey. Now, this particular training comes with a certificate, and also the course material for this training. So if you want to have the course material for this training and the certificate itself for this particular course, haven't gone through this training, then the cost for it is just $10. It is just $10. You can send us a mail. You can send us a mail via info@icrpcng.com, or you can even send us a WhatsApp message on the numbers on your screen. And of course, we will tell you, or we'll give you directives on how to make payment and how you can also get your certificate for this training, and also how you can also get the course material. Don't forget, like I said, please subscribe, like, and share. And once again, I am Ambassador Dr. Abdul Wahid Odewale, and I have been your main facilitator from this for this particular training. And I am from the Institute for Crisis Resolution, Peace Building, and Conciliation. Also, endeavor to to take advantage of the membership, opportunities of ICRPC, of the institute. Becoming a member comes with continuous improvement. It allows you to use the institute's membership initials or membership suffix against your name, and it gives you an opportunity to have discounts in all our training. In all our training courses. In addition to the fact that the membership certificates, confers on you that status of a certified conflict professional or conflict manager, and of course, you in fact, the benefits of membership are many. You can also visit our website at www.icrpcng.com, where you can see membership procedures, membership opportunities, membership benefits, membership application, and even qualification requirements. Becoming a member of a professional body or joining a professional body is very essential in this century, because it is what will it is what will allow make it possible for industry leaders to take you seriously. Thank you very much once again, and God bless you.